Hi, this is Tanya from Love Buddha Tarot, back with the cards for the 7th of March 2017. First of all, can I just apologise for there being no cards Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday? I've been having massive internet issues, but what it's done is it's actually forced me to take a much needed break, I think, and I feel fabulous after it. I've been sleeping well. I feel great. I feel all energized. So spirit work in funny ways. So I do apologize that I couldn't do them, but sometimes you've just got to go with the situations that are there, because they will always lead you to what you need. Maybe not what you want. Like I say, I did not want to do the videos, but I was forced not to, and I had to cancel a couple of readings as well. So I've got everybody booked in, but it was the medicine I needed. And like I say, I feel like a new woman, to be honest. It's great. Like I say, just having that little gentle mindset, because a lot of times with doing these, I mean, I do these videos every day and also the monthlies, and I do readings every day. And sometimes I get stuck in this like psychic fog, and it can actually be quite tiring as well. And like my brain hurts sometimes, and my brain has just been switched off. I've spent time with friends. I've had a wonderful time. Yesterday, I was like a teenager. I just hung out with my friend. We had a little picnic and everything in front of the fire, and it was just fabulous. So it was, like I say, much needed. So apologies I wasn't here for you, but I think I had to be a little bit gentle with myself, which I was. So the cards today. Right, they don't look very nice at first, okay? But I absolutely love them. There's such a strong message with these cards. And I've used the Tarot Apocalypsis again. Sorry, I will change them next week, but I'm still in awe of these cards, and I still feel that they've got a message to give out. I still feel that they haven't sort of they haven't finished yet. So I usually decide, right, okay, which card should I use, and whatever I get. And today I was told the Tarot Apocalypse again. So yeah, so like I say, I'll get straight on with them rather than waffling. Now, two tarot cards fell out, and I have the Osho and I have the Colette Baron Reed as well. So the two tarot cards that actually fell out are the Three of Swords and Judgment. Now, if I was reading Rider Waite tarot, it would probably be a different message with these. But with these go so much deeper. What I've found with these cards is they take away the personal, I think, and they like sort of tackle right to the root cause of something, which is quite interesting. I don't know if any of you have noticed that as well, when I've been reading them. But I'll start with this first card. Now, the Three of Swords is a card that when I see it, it makes me shudder a bit inside. I don't like it. I don't like seeing it in a reading. I understand the importance of it, but I still get a little shudder when I see it. Now, this one, I feel that this is one of the most beautiful Three of Swords that I have ever come across within all of my years of reading tarot. And yes, it talks about pain, which the Three of Swords does. It talks about emotional pain, it talks about heartbreak, and it talks about not really a nice time of things. But this card, what I'm getting with this, now sometimes this can actually mean three people in a relationship as well. So if you are in some sort of love triangle, then this message could actually be for you. However, I'm not going to focus on that side of it. I'm actually going to go with what is coming through with this card. But just to say that that's that could be. So what this is saying is love comes with a price. Now, I'm the greatest advocate of love. Anybody that watches these videos know that, and I'm like, yeah, love is the answer. And it is. It always is. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't come with pain. And it doesn't mean that it doesn't come with the most horrific pain either, you know, because it does come with a price. And when we open ourselves up to love, we also open ourselves up to pain. Um, when a loved one passes over into spirit, we feel immense pain and we feel immense grief. But that is only because we love them so much, you know. When a relationship breaks down of somebody that we loved, we feel the immense pain as well, you know. But again, that is only because we loved somebody so much. So rather than focusing on the pain here, what I feel this is wanting to do is realize that pain is a gift in some way, you know. So there's a gift that you're getting with it, and if you didn't love to that extent, then you wouldn't actually feel that pain. And it's sort of like the light and the dark. We need the two of them together, you know, in order to grow. Love helps us grow, but pain helps us grow as well, you know. So like I say, the pain that is coming from this Three of Swords, I really feel that we need to transform this into a blessing, because when we feel pain on this level, it brings a realization as well to us, you know. It shows us things that we might not have wanted to see before, you know. It changes us in a way when we have been heartbroken, but we then can go on and love again, you know. Now, what this card is saying is, don't take this personally. Okay, when we are going through heartbreak, or when you are going through a heartbreak, you are completely consumed in it. It is all about you. It is all about how you are feeling. Yet there are so many thousands and millions of people in the world that are experiencing pain and heartbreak at the very same time. You know, you are not. It's not just you. There's a great story within Buddhism, and it's this woman loses her child dies, so she goes to Buddha and said, please, can you bring my child back to life? I can't deal with this pain. So Buddha says, yeah, of course I can do that. You know, I want you to go down into the village and I want you to get some mustard seed, and then I'll be able to make your child alive again and your pain will stop. So he said, but the only thing is, you know, you must get that mustard seed from somebody who has never, from a household that has never experienced emotional pain. So emotional pain or loss. So she goes to the first house and she asks for the mustard seed and they give her it. And then she says, by the way, have you ever experienced emotional pain or loss? And they go, yeah. You know, and they tell her why, and we've lost a loved one or whatever. So she can't get it from there. And it basically, she goes right around the village. When she goes back to Buddha, she's like, right, okay, thank you. I understand, you know, that this pain is not personal. It is not to me. Everybody has experienced this at some point in their life. You know, if you get to an age where you haven't yet, then, you know, you've been very, very lucky, but expect it to come, because it does. You know, pain is part of life. Suffering is optional, you know. So there's a big change. And when we first experience pain, or when we experience it for the first time, it can be all consuming. But the more we experience it, the more we learn how to cope with it, you know. And when you experience grief, I miss my mother every day. I woke up this morning, I really, really wanted to speak to my mum. It's no particular day. It's nothing like that. Um, and you know, she's been gone 8 years this year now, but you know, the pain was still there. But I know it's like, right, okay, you know, I can speak to her in my way, and I didn't let that pain consume me in the way that it did when she first passed. It doesn't make the pain any easier, but you find different ways of coping with it, you know. And like I say, I feel that pain still after all this time because of the love that we shared, you know. So what this card is saying is, don't take this sorrow on as personal. Look at it as the sorrow of the world. You know, look at the root issue of this, that the pain is a part of life, you know. So look at the bigger picture rather than, you know, sitting on the sofa with, you know, a tub of ice cream and whatever, you know. That might help for a little while, but you cannot go on doing that, you know. There's a great, especially when they're just bringing in here. Right, okay. When we are going through a heartbreak, okay, and when that is the cause of somebody else, if somebody else has ended things, if somebody else has finished things, that's often harder. When somebody passes, Okay, we have no control over it, so we have to accept it. When somebody that we've loved and shared things with and things like that decides that they don't want to be in that anymore, we have no control, because we have no control over that other person. And that can often be hard to comprehend, because it's like, if that person came back, they would make me happy. They would do this, they would do that. But that isn't the case, because they need to be there because they want to be there, if that makes sense. And you feel that it's you that's been the one that's hard done to. It's you that is the one suffering. And how can they go about their life and get on and whatever, right? And there's a song, and I had to mention this the other day for an article I was writing for a magazine, and they asked me, what song has changed your life in some way? And music is a very, very big part of my life. And there's so many songs, so many songs. And there's so many songs still unwritten. They've just said to me there. So, right, okay. So many songs still unwritten. Right, that's quite interesting. So yeah, so the song that I actually picked was a song by a guy called Keaton Henson, and I adore this guy. This guy is the emotion in his songs. It's like, it's blow away, and there's times they are that painful that I can't listen to them, but I do absolutely adore this man. He speaks and writes from his soul. And there's a song called "Lying to You," and basically within this song, it's about, he is there with somebody. He is with somebody who he loves in a way, but he's not in love with them. And he's lying in bed next to them, and they know that he doesn't fully love them. So they're trying even harder. And he knows that they're a lovely person, but that it's just not there with him, because his heart is still with somebody else. So it's the two of them are lying to each other in a way. And it is a very painful, sad song. When I listened to that, the reason it changed my life is, when I listened to it, I had been the person on both sides when I look back at my different relationships. And I'd been the one that was there because it was comfortable, or because, you know what, this is sort of okay. It's something, I'd also been the one there lying next to somebody knowing that they didn't want to be there, So I resonated completely with this song. But what that song made me realize, and the reason why I'm saying it's life changing, the reason why I'm talking about it today, is because it gave me the realization that even though somebody may have ended a relationship with me in the past, where I've been like, right, okay, why have they done that? Look at how much I'm hurting. That they actually experienced that hurt too. So it wasn't just about me. You cannot let something go that you've had that connection with, and then not feel the pain. You can't. So this is, if you are suffering heartbreak at the moment, that person who broke your heart will be going through something themselves as well. So it's not, you might see them on social media or whatever, having a ball, but they've experienced something with this, and the time that they spent with you will have changed them in some way. So I hope this is making sense here in the message that's actually coming through here. And what happens with loss when we experience this loss is, loss makes us question really what is important, things that we might have took for granted at the time, and then they're gone, and we're suddenly, well, but I wanted that, but did you actually do what you could to appreciate that when it was there? And you think, what am I going to do now? I can't live without this person, or I can't live without this. And of course you can, because when you were born, you didn't have that. So you might not want to, but you will, and you can, But remember that sorrow touches our life. It touches everything in some way, I was sitting, I came in last night, and my little dog was so pleased to see me. He's been very quiet lately because he's old and he's grumpy. And last night he was like a little puppy, and he was jumping all over me, and I went to bed, and he came, and it was lovely. And I actually thought to myself, I haven't got long left with him, So it was like, right, okay, I know that the inevitable will come one day, and he's been my counselor and my therapist and everything. Hendrix knows all of my secrets, my deepest, darkest ones, but I know that as much as I love and adore him, one day he won't be there, so it's right, okay, we'll appreciate it now and get as many treats as he wants, because he's old. So yeah, so we need to realize that sorrow touches everything within life in a way as happiness. So we cannot have the two without each other, so we need to appreciate the happiness that's there when it's there and accept the sorrow when it's there, because the sorrow is, if we consume ourselves in the sorrow and we feel hard done to and we blame somebody else for the pain that we're feeling and we allow them swords to stay to stay in our heart, we will suffer. And like I say, suffering is optional. Pain is part of life, but suffering is optional. And if we have a look through these swords, there is light coming. There's light shining through this darkness. So there is something good coming from whatever pain you are experiencing at the moment, because crisis, when we are in sort of crisis, when we are in pain, when we are suffering, what this does is this helps us to actually realize the truth of who we are and what we want our life to be. It sort of puts a rocket up our arse and goes, wow, right, okay. How many of you have ever, somebody has died suddenly around you and it makes you question life and it makes you realize, like, shit, none of us know how long we have left. So it puts a rocket up your arse and it says, right, okay, how do you want to live your life? If you only had 6 months to live, what would you do? Because so many people, they get told off the doctor, you have 6 months to live. And what do? They quit their job, they go out and they live their dreams and they go after the dreams that, they thought that they had a lifetime to do. But when they hear them words, right, okay, you only have this time left, it spurs them into action. So what this card is saying is that rather than sitting in this suffering, do that now. Live the life that you would live if you knew your life was limited. Because our life is limited in a way. We've all got a clock and that clock will stop ticking one day, and we don't know when it is. So make today the start of you going out and doing your bucket list. Live a life that, if suddenly something happened within your life, you could look back and go, well, at least I lived my life to the full. This is what we need to do. So, this is about taking the pain that we're feeling and actually saying, right, okay, this pain is going to fuel me. I am not going to allow it to suffer. I know that this is a universal thing in the same way that love is, If we accept love as a universal force, we need to accept pain as a universal force as well, and we need to see the blessing and the transformation that it can cause, rather than sitting and wallowing in putting ourselves in this cold place. We can use this as our fuel and use this to our advantage. Okay, so that is that one. You see what I'm saying about these cards? They're like, wow, they blow my mind. So, like I say, there was 2 cards came out. Sorry, I'm just gonna have a drink there. I'm really getting on. There was 2 cards that actually came out with when I pulled the tarot cards here. I love these. I really do. So yeah. So this is Judgment, okay? And Judgment it's a fabulous card, and especially within this. I mean, within this card, what it's depicting is like the Great Flood, that wiped everything out, in order so that we could start again, in order we had to, Noah built the ark, to survive during the flood, and couldn't take everything with them, but took what was needed. And this is what this is talking about. And if we have a look, there's these people, and they're drowning in it, they're clinging on there, it's mad. But when you look at these people actually look pretty dead anyway, if we look at their skin colour. And then they start to get revived and they're getting pinker. And then by the time they get up there, they're filled with golden light. And they're like, whoa, I'm enlightened, I've just knocked my mouse mat off. So this is saying that when judgment comes in, or when this pain that we're experiencing comes in, what this is about is this is because we have in some way been crying out for renewal. We might not have done it on a conscious level, but on a subconscious level or on a soul level, something has needed to change because something wasn't right. Okay? So this is saying that your soul, out of this pain that you are experiencing, your soul wants to rise. It wants to use the depths of these pain as like fertilizer so that it can grow. So whatever chaos you are experiencing at the moment, okay, that will destroy the chaos that you are trying to block out, and this will eventually bring you peace. So nothing happens to us in life that isn't needed. So it doesn't matter how devastating your situation is at the moment. There is something of your situation where you thought it was okay that wasn't and needed changing. So this chaos is to destroy the chaos and actually bring you to a place of peace. Ride that wave of the great flood that will bring you to a place of peace. So this is saying to turn to your heart, and it doesn't matter how much it is hurting. It doesn't matter how much it's hurting your heart. Use that as a compass and keep compassion within your life. Don't have a poor me attitude. Don't have a blame mentality, because all that does is hurt you. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they had quite a horrific thing happen to them, and they were that full of anger and unforgiveness and everything, and their life was being ruined from it. And it was, you're ruining your own life. That happened. The person who was tread badly within this has survived and is alive. So take that as a blessing, and let go of the hate, because the hate is what is consuming them. Let go of the I am a victim, because that was what was consuming them. So this is saying turn to compassion. Let that be your compass as well, because during this time of pain and during our darkest times, which this card is all about, the dark night of the soul, and this is how we rise through it and we go through the stages. And during this time, we will have revelations. This is leading us to a rebirth. We need to experience these experiences in order to have evolution, in order to grow into the person that we were meant to be. So through this darkness, whatever you are feeling, your soul is actually being reborn. So this is like, it's like, people think, all right, okay, I'm going to live a spiritual life, I'm going to jump on the spiritual train, and that's great. We need everybody to do that. But it's not going to be an easy ride. You're not going to be put up there in first class, and be waited on hand and foot. It's going to be pretty bumpy, Spiritual evolution is not passive. It is actually quite painful, and it's hard, but it is so fucking worth it. Sorry, that was how it came through there. It is so fucking worth it, There may be events that you get, you are presented with, stations that you stop on, which you might think, why am I here? You can't comprehend them. It's like, why is this happening? But what happens when your life is questioned in a way, this makes you realize the life that you are craving. So when you are risking losing everything, this makes you realize what it is you truly want. And like I say, use your soul as a compass. This will then guide you to your true north, where you need to be heading. You will eventually hear your calling through the screams. Without pain, nobody actually progresses within life throughout pain. I know my progression every time I have gone up a level has been because I have experienced shitloads of heartache or pain or times when I didn't think I could go on. People I speak to, every one of them seems to find spirituality some way after a trauma. They hear spirit talking to them, and they've been atheists, they haven't done that. So pain is actually a gift that we are given to move us out of this monotony, robotic life and into a life where we feel from our depths. And that is where we feel love, where we feel happiness, but where we also feel this pain, you know? So challenges are what makes us grow here, and difficulty, any difficult situations causes us to make changes, you know, and they can often be so painful, you know, and that is the beauty in them, because they will make us change something. If we're feeling that pain, we need to do something to step out of that pain, you know, and this is when we find that's something that we didn't even know what was there. This is when we find that we have a bigger meaning in the world, and we go out and we need to find our purpose, you know. This is when our awareness increases and we get an understanding that we didn't have before. And this is when we are actually on the path to freedom. We start to listen to our higher self, you know. It's sort of like a purging. We need to purge in order to be set free. Now, I mentioned last week about ayahuasca, and you know, ayahuasca is like sort of the mother vine, and a lot of people now are going on ayahuasca retreats. And during ayahuasca, it is not a pretty ride. You're not sitting taking the psychedelic and thinking, oh, right, look at them pretty colors. You are facing every demon that you have, you know, everything that you have on a soul level, and you have to confront them. But once you've confronted them, the feeling of bliss that comes afterwards, you know, the feeling of freedom. Because, you know, like I mentioned the other day, the Babas, when we face our fears, when we face them head on, you know, then nothing can hurt us anymore. So this is part of evolution, you know, to experience this pain, to feel it on a deep level, and then to move on where we can get to a place of peace without the chaos, and we can actually feel this peace within us, you know, and learn from whatever chaos, destruction, devastation, and shit that we've encountered, you know. So experiences will bring this change in our evolution, because we'll never be the same person that we were, but that's good, because that is not who we're meant to be, you know. So there you go. I told you these cards were heavy. Sorry, it's like, you know, the sun's shining here. I'm feeling all light and lovely, and now it's like, right, okay, I'm you know, we're getting down to the gritty stuff here. So within the Osho card I picked today is Beyond Delusion. Now, what is very strange about this is the card of judgment within the Osho Zen Tarot card, you know, and there's so much symbolism within this card. I absolutely love it. And if we have a look on the outside, we've got all of these wishes and dreams, and they're a little bit blurry, you know, but it's saying that they're there. And like I say, when we go through this pain and destruction, this is when we start to see clearly, and we realize, hold on, I had these dreams 20 years ago, and suddenly they're still my dreams, but I forgot about them, you know. So this is it. This pain will open our eyes to things that we'd actually forgotten. You know, we've got the butterfly in here, and the butterfly is also always a symbol of growth. You know, I mentioned the other day about how the butterfly the caterpillar has to sort of go through a period of transmutation and completely breaking down of what it was in order to be this butterfly, you know, which is free and beautiful, and you know, it's a different thing to what it originally was, but it goes through the process of pain, you know. We have the lotus flower here, which is in his third eye, and this is about, you know, this is about our growing spirituality, our intuition, you know, our clairvoyance and stuff like that. So the butterfly is like looking at the outer of us, you know, and it's sort of seeing like that our reality was actually an illusion. It wasn't real anyway, and we only experiencing that through pain, you know. So we are looking internal here and seeing who we really are. And it's like I say, there's this rise in awareness with this as well, you know, and it's such a beautiful place to be. So this card, when this comes up, it's sort of talking about an epiphany, an awakening time, you know, something that you have not seen or chosen not to see in the past is now becoming apparent to you. You know, you are listening to the voice of the universe, you are listening to your higher self, and it's telling you that you need to live your life in a different way because you've had this rocket up your arse and you've experienced this pain. you know? So you need, this is telling you that you need to be true to you and to your needs. So this is opening you up. This pain here is opening the doors to possibility, you know, opening the doors so you can live a more fulfilling life, which serves your higher needs better. It makes you review stuff. It makes you evaluate things as well. And it makes you learn from them, you know. And this is a chance to unburden yourself from the past, to bring this peace and harmony in, you know, and also this like rebirth, this newfound clarity. You may have to make a decision with this, which will be hard, but it is essential for you, you know. And it's saying that you need to clear up any unfinished business. This is tying up loose ends. This is moving on with the knowledge that you have been brave enough to make this stand as well. You know, it's telling you that you need to sort of shut the door on something which should have happened a long time ago, you know, because if it wasn't meant to, you wouldn't have gone through this process, you know. So it talks about facing your fears head on, exactly the same as what we've just said, you know, to stop clinging. And it's saying, don't look for what's real on the outside, look within, and your answers will be there, you know. Because when we use judgments to define ourselves, you know, this keeps us trapped, and it keeps us trapped in our illusions. And when we judge other people, it says more about us than it does about them as well, you know. So this is about breaking old habits, breaking old patterns, you know, dropping your opinionated mind and moving inside. Because when you are in your deepest truth, you know, this is when there is a difference between sort of dreams and reality, you know. The answers are all inside of us. We all know this. It just takes something harsh and something brutal like the pain that you could be experiencing to force you to actually recognize this, you know. And the most confused we ever get and the most chaotic we get is when we're trying to convince our head of something that our soul knows is a lie, you know. So any challenging times that you've been having at the minute, you know, this is saying that they're near on completion. Any pain that you're feeling, you know, it's like, now, right, okay, I'm prepared to make those changes as well. You know, there will be people around you. You will find people who have similar stories to you, and they will help you on the way. They will hold your hand, and they might not be the people that have been there in the past, but they will be new, and they will gravitate towards you, you know, as well. And like I say, this will be worth it. Now, Osho states within this that there is the only distinction between the dream and the reality is that the reality allows you to doubt, whereas the dream doesn't allow you to doubt. So when you go after your dreams, because you've had this kick up the arse that's made you realize how precious your life is, you know, there is no doubt in that, because once you have been faced with fear head on, you know, what one of my dearest friends experienced cancer last year. And it was a big eye-opening for her, you know, massive eye-opener. And now she is fearless. She just doesn't really care. And it's wonderful. And she says that it is her biggest gift, because now she's not scared of dying. What she said is she's scared of not living, you know? And that just, to me, it's like, wow, how profound, you know? And she got that through a really dark, painful time, okay? So this is all sort of leading to one way. So then I pulled the Colette Baron Reid card, sorry, and this is Unfinished Symphony. Now, within this is talking about tying up loose ends, you know, something needs to be completed, a cycle, a project, a situation, you know, a pattern that you're going, you know, you need to be able to move forward with this. And it's saying, you know, like, come to terms with where you are now and know where you want to go. So this is about like acceptance, you know, and knowing that you have to make this move, you know. And it's saying, you know, you cannot do this if you're leaving things unfinished. You need to tie up stuff, you know. And this is talking about closure as well. And it's saying, you know, when we have anything where we're keeping it hanging on when it shouldn't be, you know, this actually causes problems for us, you know. So it's saying that, you know, something needs to be done now, something needs to be addressed, and then this is when you can evolve to your next level, you know. So it's saying, like, be clear on what is being left unresolved. And this is any pain as well, any pain that you're feeling, address it. learn from it, shut the door and move on here. Now, as soon as I picked this card, I heard, don't die with your music still inside you. Now, that was said by Wayne Dyer, and Wayne Dyer is a beautiful, beautiful man. And his daughter, Serena Dyer, has actually wrote a book called that, Don't Die With Your Music Still Inside You. And she said that this was being one of her most profound teachings from her father within his life. He also said to her, what was it? Never follow the herd, because if you do, you'll step in shit, So it's like, this is about growing up with spiritual parents and how they led her to know how life worked, and what that means is, don't die with your music still inside you, is it means don't allow yourself to live a life any other than the one that you were born to live. We all have this purpose, we all need to evolve, we all need to grow. And if you are experiencing pain in any sort at the moment, the reason you are experiencing that is because you are not living the life that you were born to live, and something is pushing you in the direction to find the awareness and to find the understanding that you need to make changes. And the life you were born to live is there sitting waiting for you, but it's just about actually doing this growth spurt and getting there, and then standing at the top of that mountain and like going woohoo, feeling the air. When you've climbed to that summit, that is when you can breathe, and the pain that is at the bottom of that, you'll forget it, because what you will feel is, you will have the enlightenment, you will understand why you experienced that pain, and you will be thankful for that pain, because that has transformed your life in some way. So I hope that made sense to you. Quite a heavy one for a Tuesday morning, but hey, I don't shoot the messenger, I just give out what I get. If anybody would like a reading with me, please get in touch via my Facebook page or via my website. The links to both of them are below. Huge thanks for watching these videos as well. And please, if you like them, subscribe, share, write me a comment. I love the comments. I do try to answer all of them, even if it's just been a little like lately. I do acknowledge them and I do read every single one, but like I say, time has been a bit scarce. And have an absolutely fabulous Tuesday. I hope that has in some way made sense to some of you, because I do feel it was a profound message, but I feel that it was meant to get out there. Okay, so have a fabulous day, and I'll be back tomorrow with the cards of today. Sat Nam.